Hi guys, and welcome as we review this car, Toyota Land Cruiser ZX. And this car was first launched in 2007. Of course, it's Japan made and it came to replace the 100 series. So this came as 200 series. And as you can see, this is a massive car. It's a car you feel the massiveness when you're driving, and of course I have had a feel of it. It's a comfortable car. It's a very nice family car. Of course, looking at the car, the Toyota brand has improved over time, and of course if you look at the car, you see a lot of improvement in terms of how the car looks from the outside. And for me, something that has really impressed me is how the front part has been made to look. Of course, it looks like a beast. And then we have sensors that are fitted. And the good thing with this car is that it has both a front and a back camera. And something that is very interesting, when you are inside, you'll be able to see that you can see what is in front of you, so that you are not able to hit things that you cannot be able to see through the windscreen. And that for me is a very, very nice function. Looking at the car, it looks like a car that should be owned by someone that of course knows what they are doing in life, yeah, right? And of course you can see we have now the front camera that I was talking about. And then we have the side of the car that looks so good. For me, looking even at how the side mirrors look, and of course the side light of the side mirror looks very, very nice. And of course the car comes with a 21-inch wheel, and it's a wheel that you're sure for ground holding. And of course the locks are opened automatically. You're able to open the locks automatically. And then the back part of the car, of course, the Toyota emblems all over. You have the Land Cruiser emblem and then the Toyota logo. Then you have the ZX. Then for me, something that really stands out is the lights. I always comment about Toyota lights. They make the car look so good actually every time. The beauty of the car depends on what is on the outside of the car. And of course, you want to drive a good car, and of course the car should feel beautiful, it should feel good. Someone should at least notice that you're driving a good car. And of course, this car comes with a V8 engine, which is very nice. And then we have back sensors. At the back side of the car, we have the sensors that will alert you, of course, if there is something that may hit you from the back. And of course we have the rails, we have the spoilers. I mean, we have one of the best beasts around here. So maybe you can check on what we have on the inside. So you can check what we have on the inside of this car, Toyota Land Cruiser ZX. Of course, a V8 engine. And the V8 engine, if we talk about fuel consumption, you'll not believe it. The fuel consumption for this car is 6.5 kilometers per liter. You can't believe it. And it is a petrol engine. And this gives you, of course, bearing in mind the kind of the car you have, gives you very good fuel economy. And of course, it gives you power, gives you class, it gives you reliability, flexibility. I mean, this car, you can literally do a lot with it. Yeah. Let's have the engine on. Of course, the feel of the engine feels like wow, and I love it. Of course, we have the steering controls. You can control many things on the steering. We have the display. You can control the display on your car. You can change the mode. You can connect your phone. Of course, the stereo system. You control the stereo system Of course, you can connect your phone, you can receive and disconnect your phone. Yeah, and of course we have this part where you control most of the functions of the car, and we will be able to check some of the things that we have here. Of course, the display looks very nice compared to the previous models. There is always an improvement, and then you can control your climate here. You're able to control the climate of your back seat, and then we have a sport mode. You can activate your sport mode. You can raise your suspensions when you're going on off-road. You can control your car if you're on off-road or you are on tarmac. And then there is another very interesting function that is called crawl control. Crawl control is where you can have your car crawl. Maybe the place is slippery and you really have to get out of the place. You activate the crawl control and it comes in handy. Very, very great. And then, of course, we have ports here to have for your USB and your chargers. There you charge your phone, and then you have a port here for your USB. You have here a space where you can have your stuff, your cigar. And then we also have a compartment. This is where you can have your cup, you can have your drink. Then, of course, as we have seen, Toyota, being the king of off-road, gives you an option, or rather gives you the comfortability to have a lot of stuff in your car, and so they have a lot of compartments. And of course, for the Land Cruiser V8, it's not any different. There is this compartment here where you have your stuff, and it is quite big. Yeah, and then you can also have this part here. This is where maybe you can have your phone and the stuff that do not require big space. And then, of course, at the door there are compartments all over, and it looks so nice. Yeah, and of course there is this compartment. You can check it out. This is where maybe you can have your documents. In this case, we have the manual of the car. Remember, the car has not been bought, so of course we need to have. And then the stereo system of the car is massively great. Yeah, it's massively great. We have speakers on the door, very great, and they are massive. And then we have also the tutors. And then this car has like 10 airbags, so it gives you confidence that when you are in the car, you are safe. In case anything happens, you are well protected. Yeah, and some of the issues that people have raised about Land Cruiser is stability of the car. And I think, talk of a V8, the suspensions are very well made. So for me, the stability of Land Cruiser V8 is very good. You cannot compare with the other Toyota large SUVs like the Prado. I think the Prado, we have had a bit of issues with stability, but with the Land Cruiser V8, those issues have been sorted. The space you have when you're driving for this car is very big. You are comfortable in the car, and of course the car, to add on the comfort, comes with a sunroof where you can have some fresh air and also some light from the sun. And then of course you can have maybe your license here. Nowadays we have the smaller version of the license, the one that looks like an ID, so it can fit here very well. Yeah, and I think for the front part, that's all I have for today. Maybe we can move to the back seat and see what we have. So for the front seat of the car, it's very, very spacious, and you can be able to adjust. As you can see, you can adjust it up to that point. And then at the back also you can adjust it to tell you to which point, to that point. So no matter how tall you are able to fit in here very nicely. And then it gives you a room to have a posture that maybe the journey is too long, you can be able to sleep where if you want. And of course you can adjust it as you want. Yeah, you can adjust it as you want, like that, and you have that Porsche if that's what you like. Another very interesting thing about this car is you are able to control your climate. Maybe the person in front doesn't want the same temperature as you. You are able to control your climate at the back. Talk of the back right seat, you are able to control your climate. And then the compartments, we have this space, and then we have this space. And then not to forget, we have this here. If you do not have a third passenger, you can have your cup holder here. And yeah, and of course your armrest looking very nice. Yeah. So talking about the headroom of the car, it's very nice, and you can see you have enough space for your head. And of course the car, having in mind, has been made for off-roading. Of course that is expected. For the back seat, I think that's all we have. We now move to the third row. This car is a 7-seater, so we have 3 rows. So we just check what we have in the third row of the car. So of course getting to the third row of the car isn't easy, and let's first put the seats down so that you are able to check. Looking at what we have on the third row of the car, I think this space is one of the biggest space I have seen in a third row of any car. And for those who have been in a matatu in Kenya, you know this space is as good. If you have to have 7 passengers on your car. Remember, this is also a family car, and for me this is one of the biggest space I have seen on a 7-seater. Then you have your cup holders here. You can have your cup of tea here, and then of course you have your window, and not much on the third row, but it's okay, bearing in mind this is just an addition of the car. Yeah, and most of the people, most of the times you don't want to have this row because maybe of the cargo, or rather of many reasons that you may be having. And then of course you have your lighting. Every row has its lighting, and it's so good. And then of course you have your handles. It was made for that. And then also when you're here, you are safe because there is airbags here. That it doesn't make you feel unsafe that you do not have airbags. Yeah, and then I think for the third row, that's it. We can move to the trunk and see what we have. Yeah, and checking what we have in the trunk, you can just open it manually. And when the third row is lifted, this is the space we have for the cargo area. We can just close to see. Not that small compared to other cars. Of course, that shows you that this is a massive car. And then of course you can fold your seats again. Yeah, you can fold your seats again. Yeah, and then the good thing with the seats, they hook themselves. So when you are unfolding, you have to unhook. You have to unhook on the hooks. And that's it for Toyota V8 ZX. Yeah, that's all we have. And guys, this car is available at Mzuri Drive at only 8.5 million Kenyan shillings. And as I've always told you guys, if you want a big car, talk to the big man. And for me, I am in love with this car. Previously, I did not have any interest in Toyota cars, but the more I have come across, I have seen some very interesting features with the cars, and I have come to like them gradually. And I think one of these days I might own one of them. And guys, as I've always told you, if you're looking for a big car, talk to the big man. And thank you so much for subscribing to our YouTube channel, and we urge you to continue subscribing and supporting us. Thank you, and God bless.